In any of her beliefs was akin to engaging in a forlorn hope. But no matter the scolding that came his way, he did not regret his decision to dress in a simple waistcoat of watered silk and a black swallowtail coat to go with his knee breeches and silk stockings. His choice meant he could fade into the background in a way that the scarlet of his uniform coat would never allow. Seeking to distract his mother from her focus upon his failings, Hugh asked after the previous evening's entertainment that she had attended, and found himself nodding at suitable intervals as he was regaled with a detailed recital of the entire evening. The level in his glass lowered rather swiftly, but the inestimable Matthews rectified that fact with equal swiftness. Sophia attempted to look interested in the conversation, but was all too clearly still taken with her new gown, and she moved to the door with unbecoming haste when his mother finally indicated that it was time to remove to the Fitzroys, who were hosting a ball that night. A ball at which apparently the Marquis of Esdale was due, hence the excitement displayed by Hugh's mother. While Sophia was beautiful, she had neither rank nor fortune enough to tempt the Marquis into matrimony, but there was no gainsaying his mamma when she had her heart set upon something. Not for the first time, Hugh thanked the Almighty that, of all the things that had resulted from his injury, one was an almost complete cessation of his mother's attempts to marry him to a suitable heiress. "Had you been either of your brothers," she had confided to him when he had recovered from the arduous journey from Spain to London and had been once more in full possession of his senses, "then your unsoundness would not matter so much. But with only a competence to call your own, and having inherited your dear father's looks, you will be quite unable to attract any young lady of means." George had inherited the title and the estate, and Hugh's second brother, James, had his mother's vivacious manner and good looks to recommend him to the ladies of the ton. Sophia, too, had taken after their mother. She was the image, apparently, of Lady Fanshawe as she had been at that age. Hugh, on the other hand, had his father's ungraceful solidity, as well as his firm jaw. Obstinate, his mother had called it when she was adjuring Hugh to go into the church, rather than the army. His green eyes and straight fair hair did not please her either, for they contrasted too sharply with the blue eyes and chestnut curls that George, James, and Sophia sported. As if those disadvantages were not enough, he had returned from the war with a leg that would no longer work satisfactorily, resulting in his steps being lame and sometimes, when the pain was very bad, halting. In short, he was now unlikely to attract any of the ladies of even modest fortune that his mamma had decided upon for him. Unlike James, of course, who had swept off her feet an accredited beauty with a significant fortune who had, contrary to all Hugh's expectations, turned out to be an intelligent lady who appeared to be very fond of James. They were to be married when he was next on leave. Regardless of his inability to secure a wife with anything to recommend her, his mother was still keen for Hugh's escort. George was far too serious and important a man these days to give in to her importuning and allow himself to be dragged through the dreary round of pleasure that was the London season, and James was still campaigning with Wellington overseas, and for an instant, Hugh allowed himself a moment of envy at that thought. That left Hugh. He had disappointed and distressed his mother by returning home from the peninsula with such an injury, and he found himself unable to sadden her further by declining every one of the multitude of invitations she showered upon him. So it was that he was set for an evening which would be composed of almost everything he hated and would rather avoid. Upon arrival at the Fitzroys' townhouse, he steeled himself for the ascent of the long, curving staircase. Sophia fussed with her reticule in the hall for a time, allowing another group of guests to sweep past them and up the staircase before she pronounced herself ready. Hugh took hold of the banister and began to mount the stairs, secure in the knowledge that for now he would be delaying no other guests, nor would he suffer the indignity of being passed on the stairs, his halting progress noted with pity or derision. He was, however, keenly aware of his mother hot upon his heels, and an exasperated sigh that she could not quite keep to herself when his progress slowed further as he neared the top of the long flight. Heat flared in his cheeks as he heard Sophia hiss, "Mamma!" But then cool, low tones graced his ear, and he knew he was saved. "Lady Fanshawe, what a delightful surprise it is to see you." "Lady Emily, I did not know you were coming tonight. Have you seen Sophia's new gown? It is by Madame Lucille, you know. She is the most discerning mantua maker, and the instant she saw Sophia, she all but begged to be..."